What grinds your gears as a veteran that civilians don't understand? The assumption that we're all broken. I spent 8 years as an Army medic, saved dozens of lives, managed trauma situations that would make ER doctors quit. But the moment I mention military service, people start treating me like a ticking time bomb. My first job interview after discharge, I'm talking about my experience running a field hospital in Afghanistan, managing 30 medical personnel, coordinating with helicopters for emergency evacuations, making life or death decisions under pressure. The interviewer stops me mid-sentence. Have you considered therapy for your PTSD? I hadn't mentioned PTSD, hadn't shown any signs of distress, just described my medical leadership experience. I don't have PTSD, I said. I'm here about the hospital administrator position. Oh, well, we want to make sure our workplace is safe for everyone. Safe from what? Me doing my job competently? That interview ended quickly. They went with someone who had less experience but didn't make them uncomfortable with scary military stories. The next job, I decided to downplay my service, focused on civilian-friendly language. Instead of saying I managed trauma teams, I said I coordinated medical staff, got the job at a small clinic. Everything was fine until they found out about my deployment. Suddenly, I'm getting invited to every veteran appreciation event, asked to speak about my struggles, and offered employee assistance programs I didn't need. My boss started checking on me more frequently. How are you handling the stress, Mike? Is the job triggering any flashbacks? Lady, I've performed surgery in a tent while mortars exploded outside. Filing insurance paperwork isn't exactly triggering combat memories. But here's what really broke me. 6 months into the job, we had a medical emergency. Patient came in with a massive heart attack, coding on the table. While everyone else was panicking, I jumped in and started coordinating the resuscitation. Assigned roles, managed the airway, got the patient stabilized until the ambulance arrived, saved his life. You'd think that would prove my competence, right? Wrong. Next day, my supervisor calls me in. Mike, we appreciate your quick thinking yesterday, but you seemed almost too calm during the emergency. Too calm? I was trained for this. It was concerning to the staff. They're worried about what kind of person stays that composed during trauma. Apparently, being good at my job was now evidence of psychological damage. We think you might benefit from some counseling to help you process emotions more normally. I quit that day. The irony? These same people call veterans heroes, thank us for our service, put yellow ribbon magnets on their cars. But they don't actually want to work with us. They want us to be either broken victims they can pity or inspirational stories they can use for feel-good moments. They can't handle us being normal, competent people who just happen to have military experience. I finally found a job at a trauma center where my military background was actually valued. The head nurse was a Navy corpsman, and she hired me specifically because of my combat medical experience. You've seen worse than anything we'll deal with here, she said. That's exactly what we need. For the first time since discharge, someone understood that my military service was an asset, not a liability. But even there, civilian staff sometimes act weird around veterans. They'll make comments like, don't trigger the Army guys when discussing stressful cases, or they'll ask inappropriate questions. Did you ever kill anyone? What's it like to have PTSD? Are you going to snap one day? These same people would never ask a car accident survivor, what's it like to be traumatized? Or a cancer survivor, are you going to die on us? But military service somehow makes our entire life experience fair game for random questioning. The worst part is the self-fulfilling prophecy. Treat someone like they're damaged long enough, and they start questioning themselves. I found myself wondering if maybe I was too detached, too clinical during emergencies. Maybe my composure was unhealthy. It took years to realize that staying calm under pressure isn't a symptom of trauma. It's a skill, one that makes me better at my job, not worse. Now I work for a company that specifically recruits veterans, not for charity or tax breaks, but because they recognize our training has value. My boss is a former Marine who understands that military experience translates to civilian competence. We don't spend meetings talking about our feelings or processing trauma. We solve problems, meet deadlines, and get work done, just like normal employees, because that's what we are. The biggest misconception civilians have is that we need special handling. We don't need to be fixed, pitied, or managed differently. We need to be judged on our abilities, not our service.